Not enough people are talking about this because women figured out a way to cover our drinks with the drink condoms, with the holding your cup with your hand over it. So men went and figured out a way to inject us. To inject us! Like, oh my god.
Okay, well, this is terrifying. Have you guys heard about the 145 concert goers who were pricked with syringes over the weekend in music festivals all across France? So police say so far they've detained like 12 different people, and they're trying to make a connection on this wave of syringe attacks. So I also read that a French feminist social media influencer had warned women prior to the concert about these attacks. So apparently there was some online chatter that this could be a potential attack that was going to take place during the concerts. So police haven't said what was in the syringe, so I'm not sure if it's like the date grape drug, I think it's called GHB. Obviously, that would knock people out, leaving them, susceptible to an attack. But they have said that quite a few people have been given toxicology tests at the hospital, so I'm sure we're going to know the results of those before too long. But if it's not that, can you imagine how many things can be spread through syringes? Because, that's terrifying to me. Well, Paris is gearing up for its summer music festival, so obviously people are completely freaking out. Police say to be vigilant. I am not sure how you protect yourself against something like that, and I did not have this on my bingo card of things to be scared of while attending concerts this summer, because clearly we all know that people imitate these type of things. So if you're going to any kind of concerts, not just in France, please be careful.
Horrific breaking news. 145 people across France have reported being pricked with syringes at the Fête de la Musique Street Festival. This news has honestly knocked me sick because I reposted a video that actually came out, I believe, the day before the festival started. It's by a feminist influencer. She was actually warning festival goers that there had been threats about this happening. I'm disgusted to say it appears it has actually happened. So The Guardian has reported that so far there has been 12 people arrested in connection with this. In Paris alone, 13 cases were reported. 3 of the victims, including a 15-year-old girl and an 18-year-old man, reported feeling unwell after being pricked. One of the men that were arrested was actually found with a syringe and has been known to the police before for violence. Toxicological tests were conducted for some of the victims to determine what drugs were used. Authorities said there were unprecedented crowds that they did not account for, especially in Paris, and I guess we all know why, because half the UK turned up. But just to make it categorically clear, that is not the reason why this has taken place. This is nothing short of just sheer evil. Of course, I'll update you when I know more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Over 145 persons were pricked by a syringe in a festival in France. Imagine you left home to go to a music festival and was pricked by a syringe. 145 persons. That's crazy. Some of them were pricked in the abdomen. Some was taken into hospital. There are reports that a lot of people this would happen to, and they would not report it because they've been drugged and then obviously pricked by a needle. This has to be scary because if I got pricked by a needle in a music festival, I'm immediately going to the hospital and I'm staying there until all tests has been done. This is disturbing. They said it's an attack on women, and it is something that was reported before the music festival. Like attack on women. So they were like asking women to be careful. But yeah, 145 persons were pricked by a syringe in a music festival.
I keep saying, whenever you are out in the midst of a large group of people, you have to pay attention. People that were at a festival in France were targeted and attacked with syringes. You heard me? There was a festival in Paris, France. They're saying that these people were targeted in more than 100 syringe attacks, where 145 people got attacked with a syringe at Fête de la Musique. And most of the people that this happened to were teenage girls. They're saying that the people that were attacked with these syringes noticed a mark on their body, and then they started feeling ill. Mind you, they didn't have any idea what was in those syringes. They don't know at all. It could have been anything. And check this out. 12 of those 145 people have been detained. What have they been detained for? What was in those syringes? See, but here's the thing. You have some sick people moving around here that's doing anything and everything to hurt people. And this shit is crazy. Mind you, it was thousands of people at this festival, at these events. And you know when shit like this happen, it usually starts a trend. Pay attention, man, because you can't stop what you can't see. I'm out.
Okay, well, this may be one of the most disturbing things I've read in a while. Over 145 people, many of them young teenage girls, were stabbed with syringes across France at music festivals on Saturday. Syringes at street concerts. Let that sink in. It happened at La Fête de la Musique, a huge national music festival where people gather in the streets to dance, sing, and listen to music to celebrate the summer solstice. And in the middle of it, women were getting randomly jabbed in the arms and in the back by random strangers with needles. Police have arrested 12 men, including one that was arrested because he was literally filmed while stabbing a girl. And here's the worst part. They're testing these syringes for any type of drug, including the ones that predators use to knock their victims out. This wasn't random chaos. This was organized, and police even found online posts encouraging men to go out and do this. So let's stop pretending that this is some fridge story. Because if you're not safe at a music festival surrounded by people, then where are you safe? What just happened in France is sick. It's calculated. And if this isn't your wake-up call to take personal safety and public accountability seriously, then I don't know what is.
This is why we can't have nice things. We're stressing about maybe being drafted to World War III, so we go to a music festival, and what happens? Well, 145 people were stabbed with syringes. They don't know what's in them yet. They haven't released any of the information, but these people in France, they just went to a live music festival, and they all suddenly got stabbed with syringes. So I can't. 2025 is too much. Can we pump the brakes?
We gotta talk about what happened in France. Because over 145 people, mostly women, all over the country reported on being attacked with syringes during the Fête de la Musique. Now, French authorities have detained 12 suspects. In case you don't know what the Fête de la Musique is, it's like the annual street music festival in France, meaning that millions of people took the streets all over France, but especially in Paris. People are saying that there were unprecedented crowds in Paris. And to be honest, as somebody who was in Paris that night, I have to agree. Before the festival began, people were warning others online, especially women, that there had been calls on social media to target women with syringes. And to be honest, most of the victims that reported on this happening to them are in fact women and girls. Toxicological tests are being done. We don't exactly know what substances were in these needles. And as I said, 12 suspects have been arrested. Among them were 4 people in the southwestern city of Angoulême, is that how you say it? I don't know. Suspected of having targeted about 50 victims. 2 men were also arrested in Metz on suspicion of syringe attacks. One man had been caught with a syringe, and a woman who complained of being stabbed with one had recognized the other. Victims in Metz were believed to be under 18. One of the suspects, a man aged 20, was previously known to the authorities for violence. In the Normandy, several young women had also complained of being stabbed with syringes. In the western city of Tours, 13 women complained to fire services on duty at a music event that someone had pricked them with a syringe. This isn't the first time this has happened at the Fête de la Musique. This happened in 2022 as well, not on this scale, I believe. And the authorities in 2022 reported that the syringe marks were generally on the arms, buttocks, or back, without victims normally seeing the alleged attacker. During the entirety of the event, 370 people were detained on various charges, including nearly 90 people in Paris. It is also said that there were 3 to 4 times as many people in Paris as normal, which isn't just because of the Fête de la Musique. During the same night, there was also a huge concert happening, so that also attracted more people. By the way, this isn't the first time, people have organized these syringe attacks online to target women specifically. This is happening again and again and again. Men getting together online and saying, hey, let us get these syringes, these needles, and then let's go out and target women just for fun. And as I said, I was in Paris during the Fête de la Musique. I specifically did not go in the area where all of that was happening, but I did talk to a lot of the locals. Many of them told me, especially the women, that if I wanted to go, just don't. It is not safe for you there as a woman. Not just because the syringes, the needles, but different types of attacks as well. Some of them told me that normally during the Fête de la Musique, they just stay at home.
It is absolutely atrocious that women are being limited when it comes to celebrating basic things like music. And frankly speaking, with misogyny on the rise, what are you going to do? When millions of people are out, how are you going to, stop the men that have syringes? How are you going to look for them? You can't search everybody. This is why you can't just treat the symptoms of a systematic issue. You have to go to the root of it. And many countries and societies don't want to do that whatsoever. Why do so many young men believe it is fun to get, substances, put them in a syringe, and then target women with them? Why is that something that in their mind they believe is okay? And women deserve that, girls deserve that this is something that makes them good people. But God forbid you actually try to fix an issue.
145 people were stabbed with syringes at a music festival in France over the weekend, and some of those syringes could have even been used or filled with harmful substances. Now, French authorities are still trying to track down the people who planned this attack and coordinated it. As of now, there's been no arrests made. However, all of the concert goers that did end up getting stabbed with the syringes walked away with virtually no injuries. However, a lot of them are still being tested for things like infectious diseases, but it doesn't look like the substances were really laced with anything. However, they still are being monitored. And some infectious diseases could take a while to show up too, especially if it's something like HIV. And stabbing people with syringes at concerts is not a new phenomenon. This has happened in the world before, and it used to happen in the US quite a bit as well. Now, hopefully this trend dies out, but it has been around for years. I'll keep you all updated as more info comes out, and let me know in the comments what you all think about it.
This is why I keep saying, head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings when you're especially in large crowds, in large gatherings. There was a music festival in Paris, France. Over 145 people were targeted and pricked with syringes. You heard what I said. Over 145 people targeted and pricked with syringes. Most of the people that were targeted were teenage girls. The story is the people that were pricked with the syringes noticed a mark on their body. Then they started to feel ill. Now keep in mind, nobody knew what was in these syringes at the time they were used. And it's being reported that 12 out of the over 145 people that were pricked with syringes are being detained. Ask yourself that question. What are they being detained for? So please keep this in mind the next time you're looking to go out. There are a lot of crazy people out there that are looking to do harm and hurt others for no reason whatsoever. Mind you, there was over 1,000 people at this festival, and usually this may kick off a copycat. So please head on a swivel. Just be mindful, be careful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Bro, France, are we serious? If you guys haven't heard, 145 people got stabbed with syringes at a music festival in Paris. Like, who was doing this? Basically, the government is saying that there was like an unprecedented amount of people in the crowd, and 12 suspects came with syringes and just stabbed 145 people. Like, seriously, how do you think of this kind of stuff? They also said a lot of people got rushed to the hospital because of the toxic material in the syringes. Not only that, they were targeting women too. Social media posts were saying to target women. And the syringe attacks weren't even the only thing that was going on. Fights were breaking out. Cars were being set on fire. And the authorities said that they arrested like 300 people. France just needs to lock in, let's just say that.
What the hell's going on in France? Horrifying syringe attacks at France Music Festival were preceded by social media threats. Syringe attacks? So France's hugely popular Fête de la Musique Festival took a dark turn for up to 145 attendees as a group of individuals carried out what are now being referred to as syringe attacks. Now, so far, 12 people have been arrested in connection with the incidents. Okay, so here's the deal. They don't know what was in these syringes. There were threats on social media to attack women in general. But like I said, stories are very conflicting. They said it could be RAPE drugs, baby roofers, you know what I'm saying? But some victims were taken to the hospital for toxicology tests. Now, while all that was going on, in Paris, investigations were opened after 3 people, including a 15-year-old girl and an 18-year-old male, reported being stabbed in separate incidents across Paris. Get wild over there. Now, apart from those suspects, more than 370 people were detained during the festival on various charges, including 90 people in Paris. 14 participants in the festivities were seriously injured, including a 17-year-old who was hospitalized after being found sitting on the street with stab wounds to the lower abdomen. This has sounded worse than America. So yeah, I don't know why this isn't in mainstream, but this is insane. Syringe attacks? Maybe legacy media should get this out there.